asked myself till a year and a half ago, because I was so utterly confident that I had it all figured out. Until one day, I just didn't. It was a regular day in October of 2022, except nothing about that day was normal in my life. It was the day me and my boyfriend of 4 years decided to part ways. And before you start thinking to yourself, oh no, here goes another young love gone wrong heartbreak story, this isn't about the end of a relationship, but the learnings that came after it that changed everything I believed about love, healing, and more importantly, myself. It was one of those moments in my life that made me realize for the first time that I wasn't everything I defined myself by. As someone who was an introvert all throughout her teenage years, I found comfort in defining myself by my relationships, my achievements, and the way the world perceived me. It was only until after the breakup I realized that I had spent so much of my energy in giving parts of myself to other people that I wasn't even sure about the part of my life that was truly my own anymore. Waking up every day to that void left behind by the future I had envisioned and the uncertainty of what the new future had in store for me, I felt more lost than ever. I prided myself that I was a very confident, career-driven girl with big dreams. But that was the first time it felt like all of my dreams and visions were always tied to the people around me. And now without someone who was so important to me, a part of my dreams just didn't even feel important enough anymore. In that moment, I realized that in order to heal, I had to first let go of the person I thought I was, or the image of myself that I had created in my head, so I could truly embrace the person I was meant to be. In that moment, I had gotten an opportunity to spend a few months on an exchange program in Europe, and I promptly decided that this was exactly what I needed in my life. It wasn't until I was on a flight to a place 3,000 miles away that I realized that this was my opportunity to write a new story for myself in a place where no one knew my name, my past, my insecurities, or everything that I had defined myself by till that very moment. My first few weeks in Ireland were a constant battle between my heart and my mind, because broken hearts just don't heal overnight. While my heart was still heavy from the baggage of the past, my mind was determined to not let the present moment just go by. On reflection, I realized that I had spent so much time and energy just looking towards other people that I forgot to live my own life on my own terms. And so I decided to do something that any sane person wouldn't do. I picked up my bag and went on a spontaneous backpacking trip all by myself in a place where I knew no one. Something no one in my family or friend circle had ever done before. And when I think about it now, it sounds very daunting and adventurous and glamorous, but in the moment, it felt like the most reckless decision I would ever make. But that trip changed me in ways that I had never thought possible. So today, I want to share with you the 3 best things I learned from this experience. The first thing I learned is that self-love is a choice you make for yourself every single day. As humans, we learn to place our happiness in the love that other people have for us. But we often forget that the most important love to have in our life is our own. I remember my first day in the beautiful city of Edinburgh in Scotland. I went to this busy little restaurant in the heart of the city and asked for a table for 1. As I sat down, I looked around and realized that I was the only person in there who was sitting all by myself. everyone else was surrounded by friends, partners, family, etc. I ordered coffee, put on my headphones, played a Taylor Swift song, and took the moment to just think, reflect, and feel grateful for being in this beautiful place. That was the first time I understood that I had been so obsessed with just being the perfect partner and the perfect other half for someone that I had forgotten that I was also my own whole person first, with my own thoughts, feelings, likes, dislikes, etc. It made me understand that in order to love and enjoy the world outside, I had to first fall in love with my inner self. The second thing that I learned was this quote from Eleanor Brown. "You have one life to live, make sure it's yours." Sounds a little bit cliche, doesn't it? But we all take decisions and align our goals and dreams just with the people around us. And I know I did that sometimes in my life. Whether it was not taking up a job opportunity because your partner doesn't want to move with you, or moving abroad because your family is not ready to let you go, or even just choosing a career that you didn't choose for yourself. We all do it in some way, shape, or form. And I did as well. As a 5-year-old, I would tell my mom every single day that someday I would see the Eiffel Tower. That was my one big dream in life. And anyone who knows me today has seen the photos, posters, and paintings of the Eiffel Tower I have on my walls. And so, of course, on my backpacking trip, that was the first place that I wanted to visit. When I sat packing my bag the night before the trip, a sudden wave of loneliness hit me for the first time since the breakup. It made me think that this was supposed to be our dream, a dream I had learned to see with someone else. It took me seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time to realize that this dream never was a two-person ticket. It was always that 5-year-old girl's dream, whose sketchbooks even today are filled with the sketches of this beautiful place. It made me realize that someone's absence or even presence in my life should not determine or in any way change the way that I want to live my life or the dreams that I want to achieve for myself. The third thing, and perhaps the most important thing I learned, is that we should not let yesterday's what-ifs ruin tomorrow's what-could-bes. Sometimes we're so wrapped up in the things that have happened or the things that are going to happen that we forget to just enjoy the moment we are currently living. One time I was traveling between Zurich, Switzerland and Munich, Germany, and the direct train route between these two places takes about 3 hours, but that day due to a rainstorm, it was going to take 6 hours because I had to take an indirect route. And so of course, while I was on my first train, I was very upset that I was wasting so much extra time traveling between the two places. And this indirect route had one stop in this little town in Austria called Kufstein that I had never even heard the name of before. But as I got off the platform, I was met by the most breathtaking view of this quiet little town with a river running through it. I walked around town, clicked tons of pictures, and got onto my next train. Life is like that most times. Sometimes we just learn to live in the what-ifs. What if this would have happened? Or I wish this wouldn't have happened. That we forget to enjoy the things that are currently happening. And while these are all just a mere glimpse of the personal transformation I underwent through this experience, I want to highlight how getting to where I am today has in no way been a linear path. It has taken me falling down and getting up, not once, but multiple times throughout this journey, to be able to undefine and then redefine myself, not by people, but the characteristics that make me my unique self. And so today when I ask myself the same question I asked myself a year and a half ago, I feel a lot more confident in the answer I get. If not a daughter, a girlfriend, a student, or a friend, who really am I? Well, I'm someone who embraces change, someone who isn't afraid when plans don't go the way they should have, because there's always another plan, someone who doesn't wait for other people to go and live her dreams, but most importantly, someone who can give herself the same love and respect that she gives others. And underneath all of those layers, I realized that I was always that girl. Thank you.